So in this video, we're going to be looking at expanding additional brackets. Now, this doesn't necessarily make the maths any harder, it just makes it longer. But because there are more steps, more opportunities for mistakes. So you do need to be careful. There will be a couple longer ones, probably something similar to one of these examples and probably something similar to one of these examples in your test. Now, the way I like to do these is I like to leave, so you'll notice that there's an extra x term out the front. I like to leave that out the front first, and I like to do FOIL on this. So x times x is x squared, x times 5 is 5x, negative 1 times x is negative 1x, and then negative 1 times 5 is negative 5. I then like to simplify, so we've got x squared, we've got 5x take 1x, which will give us 4x, subtract 5. Now, what we need to do is we need to times our x out the front times by all three terms in the brackets. So you don't have to draw the arrows, remember this is just showing you. So x times x squared, which is of course going to give us x to the power of 3. X times 4x will give me 4x squared. And then x times minus 5 is negative 5x. So not necessarily more difficult, just more steps. Likewise, again, leave the negative 3x out the front and then use FOIL. So it'll be x times x is x squared, x times negative 1 is negative 1x, negative 2 times x is negative 2x, and negative 2 times negative 1 is going to give me positive 2. Negative times a negative is a positive. So then I like to simplify, so it'll be x squared minus x take 2x will give me negative 3x plus 2. And then finally, whatever's out the front of the brackets, multiply it by everything in between, inside the brackets. So negative 3x times x squared will give me negative 3x to the power of 3. And then negative 3x times negative 3x, well, negative 3 times negative 3 will give me positive 9. And x times x will give me x squared. And finally, negative 3x times 2 will give me negative 6x. Now, with the triple brackets, again, not necessarily more difficult, just longer. So the way I'm going to do this is I'm just going to multiply out my first two brackets first. I'm just going to ignore my third bracket. So if I was to expand this out, I'm going to get x times x, which is x squared, x times minus 5, which is minus 5x, 2 times x, which is 2x, and 2 times negative 5, which is negative 10. I am then going to simplify my first bracket, and I'll get x squared minus 5 plus 2, negative 3x. Take 10. Now, my last step will be to expand out these brackets. Now, when expanding out these brackets, we need to multiply this term by this and by this. The middle term needs to be multiplied by this and by this. And I'll do this in a different color. We'll do it in red. So you also need to do the final term, the negative term by the x and by the negative 1. So there's a bit of expanding to do, but it's not necessarily harder, it's just longer. So x squared times x is x to the power of 3. X squared times negative 1 is negative x squared. Negative 3x times x is negative 3x squared. Negative 3x times by negative 1 is positive 3x. Negative 10 times x is negative 10x. And finally, negative 10 times negative 1 is positive 10. I now need to go through and simplify any like terms. So there's my only x to the power of 3. I've got negative x squared take 3x squared. So negative 1x take 3x squared will give me negative 4x squared. And then I'm going to have the 3x take the 10x, which will give me negative 7x plus 10. Now, I am going to go through the last example. The reason being is because I see a pattern which is going to make my life much easier. I see the difference of two squares. So, remember, the difference of two squares is x times x. Okay, the middle term is going to cancel out because it will give me 2x and negative 2x. So my middle term cancels out. and we've just got negative 2 times 2, which is negative 4. So that was much nicer. And now I've basically just got FOIL. X times x squared is x to the power of 3. X times minus 4 is minus 4x. 7 times x squared is 7x squared. 7 times minus 4 is negative 28. Now, the convention is to write mathematics in order of the power that's the highest. So we've got x to the power of 3. And then next would be my 7x squared plus, oh, that's a horrible plus 7x squared. Take 4x, take 28. So that's the convention, to write maths in decreasing powers. So I now want you to have a got question 5 on page 154. Let me know if you have any issues. Thanks.